Henry Kissinger is a former U.S. Secretary of State and National Security Advisor who played a key role in shaping the foreign policy of the United States during the Cold War era. He's also a Nobel Peace Prize laureate and a renowned diplomat, scholar, and author. He is known for his pragmatic and realistic approach to international relations, as well as his witty and controversial remarks. Henry Kissinger was a leader and a power broker who had a profound influence on the world affairs and the history of the 20th century. He was involved in many major events and issues, such as the Vietnam War, the opening of China, the Middle East peace process, the DTNC with the Soviet Union, and more. He also advised several presidents and world leaders on various matters. He had a clear vision and a strong will to achieve his goals. The task of the leader is to get his people from where they are to where they have not been. Power is the ultimate aphrodisiac. The essence of Richard Nixon is loneliness. Leaders are responsible not for running public opinion polls, but for the consequences of their actions. Henry Kissinger was a diplomat and a strategist who had a mastery of the art and science of diplomacy and war. He was skilled in negotiating, bargaining, persuading, and coercing. He was also knowledgeable in the history, culture, and psychology of different nations and regions. He understood the balance of power, the national interests, and the human nature. He was pragmatic in pursuing peace, but also prepared for war. Diplomacy is the art of restraining power. No foreign policy, no matter how ingenious, has any chance of success if it is born in the minds of a few and carried in the hearts of none. Military men are just dumb, stupid animals to be used as pawns in foreign policy. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to cope with it. Henry Kissinger was a politician and a thinker who had a keen observation and analysis of the politics and society of his time and beyond. He was aware of the trends, challenges, and opportunities that shaped the world order and the human condition. He was also critical of the flaws, failures, and follies that plagued the political system and the social fabric. He had a vision for a better world, but also a realism for what was possible. The illegal we do immediately, the unconstitutional takes a little longer. 90% of politicians give the other 10% a bad reputation. The American temptation is to believe that foreign policy is a subdivision of psychiatry. There cannot be a crisis next week. My schedule is already full. Henry Kissinger was a wise man and a humorous man who had a wealth of wisdom and humor to share with his friends and foes alike. He had a philosophical outlook on life and a witty way with words. He also had a sense of irony and sarcasm that often amused or annoyed his audience. He was not afraid to speak his mind or poke fun at himself or others. He had a lot to teach us, but also a lot to make us laugh. It is not a matter of what is true that counts, but what is perceived to be true. If I were to agree with you, then we'd both be wrong. The nice thing about being a celebrity is that if you bore people, they think it's their fault. The absence of alternatives clears the mind marvelously. Henry Kissinger was a remarkable person who lived a remarkable life. His quotes reveal his wisdom, courage, and optimism that make him an inspiration and an influence for generations. He was a leader, a diplomat, a politician, and a thinker who made a difference in the world.